the next person up is my good friend, Rachel Strong, who, I don't know if you remember when we first started doing these gigs. Some of you have been around a bit and you followed me through this journey, from the days when it was Women Stand Up to now Women Got Talent. We had a rebrand a couple of years ago. And this next act started a few years ago, and this summer she performed at a festival. So a bit like Leslie Kershaw, I feel I kind of made her, and she gets me big time. So on that note, I'll introduce you to the fantastic Rachel Strong. Woo!
Thank you. I prefer it if you don't mention that I've done this before, because it manages expectations a little bit. But I am really grateful that you put me on a bit later, because it means everybody will be a bit more pissed, which makes things a bit easier. God, this is good. Hello.
Hello.
It's good to see so many people here. Are you all having a good time?
Yes.
Lisa was brilliant. I kind of wish you put me on before her. She was really good. Okay, so how many people in the room have had some kind of big event, some big life event this year? A wedding or a new job or a baby, or not a funeral because they're really sad, but something happy. Oh, I know you had a new job. She's my boss. Oops. Okay. Any babies come into anybody's lives? I don't care. I'm going to talk a bit about babies because I've had a big event this year. So earlier on this year, I acquired a grandchild. Yeah, it's quite exciting. Shut up, George. And yeah, I know I look too young to be a grandmother. You can say it. Please, somebody say it. Yeah, you're bastards. I'll say it anyway. So yeah, I am quite young to be a grandparent. My son is a very, very young father. When he shared the news with me, I was a little bit surprised. But it's really lovely. It's really nice having all the benefits of having a tiny human in your life without any other responsibility. If I could have skipped the parent bit and gone straight to the grandparent bit, I absolutely would have done. It's really good fun. And for me, one of the good things about being a young grandparent is, I think for a lot of people, you don't really start to appreciate your own parents until you become a parent yourself. And my son is really still at the age where, under different circumstances, he'd probably be a proper little shit. But now he appreciates me a bit more, so that makes my life a bit easier. But one of the best bits for me is that thing where you can pretend that you're being really supportive and lovely, but not actually have to do anything that you don't want to do. So a couple of weeks ago, he was changing the baby's nappy. Sorry, it's a poo story. Is anybody squeamish? No, good. It is a poo story. He was changing the baby's nappy on his bed, and I hear this shout from upstairs, panicked. Mum! Mum! Please come and help me. The baby's just done a massive shit all over my bed. So you're running upstairs. Oh, darling, how can I help? I put my head around the door, and the baby had indeed done a massive shit all over his bed. So I said, oh dear. He's made a bit of a mess, hasn't he? Of course I'll help you. Of course I'll help you. I'm just with me. I'll help. I tell you what, you clean the baby down and pop a fresh nappy on him, and then I'll hold him while you change the shitty sheets. So it's a double win for me. It's a double win because I get the I'm helping you points, which I can put in the bank for next time I need him to go to the shop and buy me wine. And I also get to hold a very clean, newly changed, non-pooey baby. So win for me. That's that's happy. But one of the things that I think welcoming a new generation into my family has made me think about, and I know I am quite young for this, but it's made me think nonetheless, is about maybe kind of assessing my own lifestyle a little bit. It's made me maybe a little bit aware of my own mortality. And with good reason. I've been really ill recently. I had a horrible kidney infection. I'll just bore you with this for a minute. It's not actually in my set, it's just come into my head. So I had a horrible kidney infection a few weeks ago. And I don't know if it's because I'm old or just because I have a really shit lifestyle and drink so much beer. But anyway, I did. And I saw 4 different doctors over the space of 7 days. And the first doctor that I saw, I was in my doctor's waiting room and she called me out, and I tootled off to her office and I caught sight of her and stopped dead because she was gorgeous. And she said, "Rachel Strong, I'm here, doctor." "Oh, hello, doctor. Nice to meet you. have a pot of my wee. Anyway, that was our first date. There's not been a second, but I live in hope. Anyway, no, back on track. So it's maybe kind of assess my lifestyle a little bit. And some of you who were here a few years ago will have heard me lamenting my struggle to find some form of exercise that suits me. And I'm not going to rake over that whole traumatic incident again, but there is a very good reason that I don't go to Pilates classes anymore. I will tell you about it if you want me to, but not on this stage, for good reason. So I do still have an urge to kind of look after myself, to take more care of my health as I get older. And as such, I've been spending some time hanging out in the gym. Well, I've actually been doing some exercise. Hanging out in the gym makes it sound like I'm just hanging around the weights perving, which is a nice perk, but it's not the primary objective for me going, honestly. So I've been in the gym, and I think when you do anything new, there are always people that want to comment on it. And, you know, sometimes it comes from a really nice place. Sometimes it's supposed to be supportive. It's misguided, but it's supposed to be supportive. So I was talking to a friend of mine the other week, and I said, oh yeah, I'm just feeling really fat, and I want to lose some weight, I want to feel better about myself. And she said, oh Rach, I said, you're not fat, you're gorgeous, which is lovely and all, but you know, I never told her that I felt ugly. So that was, it was nice, but it was unhelpful. But the other side of it is, there are people, and sorry guys, there are some men in the room, it's always men actually, it's always men that do this, that feel the need to just make comments on what you're doing for no obvious reason other than just to take up space in your mind. So I was in the gym a few weeks ago, I was on the cross trainer, and I was really concentrating, because I'm really not very coordinated at all, so I'm doing all this on the cross trainer, focusing on one fixed point ahead of me so I don't fall off and make a tit of myself. And I've got my music plugged into my ears because I'm dead antisocial, so I don't want to talk to anybody. So given this setup, you know, I'm in the gym, I'm making it very clear I don't want to hold a conversation. I gradually become aware of a man stood next to my machine, obviously trying to attract my attention. And I ignored him because I say I'm antisocial. But he persisted, and eventually I had to pay some attention to him. But I figured maybe he was trying to tell me something really important. Maybe the gym was on fire, and I hadn't heard the alarms because of my music, and I had to evacuate. And I didn't want to end my days burnt to a crisp on a cross trainer. So I stopped what I was doing, because I can't cross train and hold a conversation at the same time, that's too much brain power. So I stopped what I was doing, and I took the music out of my ears, and I gave him my very best death glare. I said, yeah? And do you know what the really important thing he had to tell me was? Can you imagine what that very important bit of information he had to give me was? He wanted to tell me that he'd seen me in the gym a few times and he thought I was doing really well. Thank you, Mr. Patronising. And that would be bad enough, but he didn't stop. That man really should have stopped talking right then, but he didn't. He carried on. And this is what he said, and I quote this directly because I could not quite believe it. After telling me how well I was doing, he told me, and once you lose some of that chub, I think you'll be really hot.
Oh my God.
That is true, that happened. It's not very often that I'm lost for words, but that was one of those times. And I didn't know what to do. So this, I don't know how this came into my head, because I actually haven't ever punched anybody in my life, but this came into my head nonetheless. I didn't knock him out, I maybe should have done. But I think what I did was just as effective. So bearing in mind, okay, just setting the scene a little bit, I'm bright red in the face, I'm very wet, and not in a good way. I'm wet because I'm dripping with sweat. And I'm very out of breath because I'm not ever so fit. So he says that to me, it would be really hot. And I look at him, and I give him another good death glare, and I say, I am not here to look good for you! I am here to get stronger for punching Nazis! Thank you. And I can only assume he was either a Nazi or really fucking scared of the crazy red sweaty lady on the cross trainer, because he buggered off and I've not seen him since. So, hurrah, that's a win. I think though, exercise related, I think the absolute worst kind of people are the exercise evangelists. And there are more and more of them cropping up, and I think maybe it's because some of my peers are making changes to their lifestyle as well, and it's great, good for them. But they're trying to convert everybody they know by just telling them all sorts of heinous bullshit. And I think if you want to make changes, if you want to leave your previous lifestyle behind you, then great, do it. But you don't need to drag everybody else along with you. So there are people I know who were proper massive party heads 20 odd years ago, and they're going to go around saying things like, oh well, the only buzz I need now I get from exercise. It's a far better high than any drug. Sorry, don't believe them, it's bullshit. It's a trick designed to make you get old and sad, right? If you get a bigger high from doing an aqua aerobics class than you do from taking drugs, then you need better drugs, honestly, you really do. It makes me sad that you've given up so easily. It really does. Oh God, on that subject, okay, so I went to a festival earlier this year, and I won't name it because it's not really fair, but it was down in Suffolk and it rhymes with twatitude, and it was easily the poshest festival I've ever been to in my life. They had a fucking Waitrose in the arena, right? They really did. They had a Waitrose right by the main stage, just in case you're in a mosh pit and you get overtaken by some urge to go and buy quinoa. There's a Waitrose. It's excellent. Anyway, I was working on the bar because I'm not anywhere near posh or rich enough to buy a ticket. So I was working on the bar, and one of the bars I was working on was in the woodland area, and it was a really lovely place, you know, lots of woods. It was very shaded in the sun, and I think it was probably the latest bar open on site. I'm not sure, but I think it was. So again, a bit of scene setting. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a DJ set on. There are a lot of people dancing very hard and very clearly off their tits and having a great time, bless them. So I'm selling people lots of water and Diet Coke actually on this bar. I can't begin to imagine why. And this young woman comes up to the bar and she orders a drink, and then she says, "Is everybody here on drugs?" And I said, "Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a DJ set on. It's probably a fairly safe bet that a lot of them are, yeah." And she looked absolutely horrified, and I felt a bit sorry for her because I thought she might be a bit of a just say no, you know, abstention type. But I was wrong, because she then looked at me and went, "But some of them are like 40. And it's ironic really, because I've been a bit concerned about half an hour earlier because some of them look like 16. I think what was happening was she was looking at this situation and seeing people who could potentially be her parents, and I was looking at the very same situation and seeing other people who could potentially be my children. So that really brought it home about, you know, getting on a bit really. Oh well. Something else that has changed, certainly in me, as I've got older, is that my level of tolerance for bullshit, especially bullshit wrapped up as romance, has decreased significantly. And I really started thinking about this a few weeks ago when Creepy Piano Man was in the news. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, yeah. A few of you do. For those that don't, I'll just give you a little bit of a synopsis. So this guy, he was in all, not in all the national papers, I suppose, but he was certainly in some of them. His girlfriend had dumped him, and rather than doing what a normal person would do under those circumstances and get a bit pissed and tell his mates how horrible she was and then move the fuck on, he decided that he was going to sit in a park in Bristol playing the piano and telling all the papers that he was not going to go anywhere until she spoke to him. And no doubt he thought in his head that doing this would make the entire world go, "Oh, isn't it romantic?" And then she feels so bad about not wanting to be with the most romantic man in Britain that she'd go back to him and they'd live happily ever after and have 17 babies and live in a cottage or something. But thankfully I don't think that did happen. But I was thinking about this and I thought, you know, maybe there was a time when I would have read that as a much younger and more naive woman and gone, "Oh, isn't it romantic?" And maybe hope that one day somebody would do that for me. And what actually happened was I looked at that story and went, "Oh my God, he's the man of my dreams." But only if I was to have the kind of dreams that involve waking up to find a small child sat at the end of your bed singing, "1, 2, Freddy's coming for you." And happily I don't have those kind of dreams. It's not as fucking romantic as Christian Grey, isn't it? Yeah. I'm getting really, really pissed off with abusive, nasty, stalky behaviour being wrapped up and sold to women as romance. It's really fucking dangerous. And any of my friends, anybody that knows me here will tell you how often I rant on about the whole 50 Shades thing, because it's fucking dreadful. It's dangerous actually to women and girls. But then when you think, and that's bad enough, but when you think about where it actually came from, I don't know if you know, but the 50 Shades of Grey thing was based originally on fanfic written about Twilight. And Twilight is something that's sold to really young girls, sometimes pre-teen girls. And it sells them this stuff about how if a man breaks into your house and sits watching you sleep at night, that's romantic. And if he tells you who you can have as a friend, that's caring. And if he has these outbreaks of unpredictable rage, that's passionate. And it's really fucking pernicious. It seeps into young women's consciousness and it forms their relationships as they become adults. And I guess actually, you know, that's why we're here, isn't it? Because we're supporting Equation and they're giving education around healthy relationships to young people, and that's really, really important. But it just makes me really angry. Anyway, sorry, God, I've just remembered I'm supposed to be doing comedy. And not just ranting, which frankly I can do on any night in the pub. So I'll just finish with telling you about one last thing that getting older has done for me. And it's a really nice thing. Acknowledging that you're getting older means that you've got the full knowledge that that precious day, the day that you retire, is getting ever closer. And I look forward to this because it's a time when I'll live in comfort, in relative financial security, with lots of time and money to do all the lovely things. I see some sceptics in the room. To do all the lovely things that I don't currently have time to do as a full-time worker. And then I woke up, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Anyway, back in the real world, that's bullshit. I'll just approach retirement with the same attitude that I approach everything in my life, which is to close my eyes, cross my fingers and hope for the fucking best. Thank you. Have a great night.
Brilliant as ever. Absolutely fantastic. Rachel's strong there. Yeah, it reminded me of some stuff that I wanted to do. We are running over, so I just want to say that again.